gets kind of interesting in here. Look, the Landrum-Griffith Act is in here in 1959. Also, there's a SAG strike. This is vitally important because the president of SAG was a young liberal Democrat. And prior to this, no one got residuals, okay? And he talked the actors into striking. The strike was about 8 weeks. They won. Management gave in. And that's a big deal because that kind of changes the way things go for entertainment. So SAG strikes, they get residuals, just like everything else. Once SAG did it, all the other guilds in 1960 start to negotiate residuals into their contract. The Writers Guild, directors, and whatnot. So in 1960, we have a secretary-treasurer named Ralph Clare. We have a Ralph Clare golf tournament, if you know that name. There shouldn't be a golf tournament named after him. There should be a building named after this guy. In 1960, Ralph Clare went to the producers and said, listen, the residuals, here's how we'd like to do it. We don't want the money up front. All these other unions and guilds negotiated their money up front. So he said, we'll take our money in the back end, like points on a movie. You make money, we make money. If you don't make money, we don't make money. Okay? This is vital that you remember this because this is the first time that anyone had wanted to take the gamble that producers were taking. And it's very important for the mindset of today and the tier system and all that stuff that we'll get into in a little bit. So they cut the deal that if the movie makes money, features we're talking about, if features make money, we get our percentage. If they don't make money, we don't. Okay, so we take the risk. But he said, in order to take that risk, we went a little bit higher percentage. So it was a bigger cut. And it's referred to in our contract as the post-60. Post-60 is vital because that money goes directly into our pension plan. History, we won't talk about pension. That's another video. That's going to come up, the pension plan, our insurance, and all that stuff. But this is vital because the post-60, that money goes directly into the pension plan, and that's what funds our pension plan. It's what help funds our pension plan. And there are some other things we'll talk about that trigger the post-60. So that is in our contract today. 59 years after it was written, it's still in the contract. Okay. There are some other things that Ralph Clare did in our contract, language that's in our contract today that are vital that we'll go over again once we start looking into new media, if there is new media and whatnot. So everything's pretty chill, all good up until America has the Vietnam War. There's ebb and flow here with labor and management and also with politics. But then we get into 1980. Ronald Reagan is elected president. 1981, PATCO, it's air traffic controllers, was the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization. PATCO was in negotiations for higher wages and shorter hours. They were working too long days. Air traffic controllers working long days. You would think that would be a big deal to kind of address, but management didn't want to, and they went on strike. So Ronald Reagan, being the president, said, and there was a law that was written in 1955, you go all the way back to here, 1955, that said federal government workers, or government workers in general, cannot strike. So in 1981, Reagan tells them, you have 48 hours to report back to work, or we're going to fire you all. They walked out, he fired them, and made the stipulation that they could never be hired back. Okay? At that point, they're immediately were replaced with military air traffic controllers, and then they started training a whole new group of trainers. So basically, Reagan comes in, lays out a blueprint of how to dismantle unions. No one had ever done that before. There were government strikes prior to this where no one was fired. Everyone knew the law that was written in 55, but it was never exercised. Well, in 1981, Reagan dropped the hammer, and that was exercised. So now, private business is thinking to themselves, well, if the government makes it okay, remember now the government's involved, starting back in 1935, the government says it's okay to fire workers and it's okay to push people out. That's what we're going to do. And you're going to see union membership tank from 1980 to present day. Union membership has fallen dramatically and drastically.